And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, a real estate and finance expert, and goes to bat for you every day as your consumer advocate. Your host, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around your real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, business sales, business funding, and so much more. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Our number one goal is to educate, entertain, engage in an effort to help you win in any marketplace.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, I want you to pull out your smartphone and save our consumer advocate hotline number in your phone. It's 813.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-917-1894. We want you to bookmark, save that number. 813-917-1894. And also bookmark realestateradiotampa.com. That's our website, blog site, a plethora of information available for you, show recaps as well as expert contributor links. You can see all of the expert contributors cards under the expert contributors tab. By the way, if you're watching from a computer or your office, all you have to do is open up the Google Chrome app and you can listen to our live stream at realestateradiotampa.com as well. Click on the live stream app, or from Tampa Bay Multimedia is our partner as well. And this segment is brought to you by my health team, consisting of Michael Vogt. He's an expert massage therapist here in Tampa Bay, Back in Health Massage, located on Gun Highway. And he's voted top 10 massage services in Tampa Bay by the Best in the Biz Awards multiple times. So shout out to Michael Vogt, expert massage therapist, as well as part 2 of my health team. And, you know, let's face it, what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? You know, so many people we see are faced with cancers, different things out there. What do you have if you don't have your health? I want you reaching out to Ray Milton with Ray's Vegan Soul. Check him out on Facebook. Just search Ray's Vegan Soul, where I'll hit you with the flavor. That's his tagline. He does a great job cooking these awesome meals for me, and I greatly appreciate our partnership there with Michael Vogt, our massage therapist, and Ray, who is our expert chef. He'll cook these meals for you, have them in your vehicle. That way, when you're going from appointment to appointment during the day, you're not running into these fast food stores, and you're healthy and you're energized and living with full vigor. So here we are live from iHeartRadio, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. every week. We got a weekend show on 102.5 The Bone, and we stream all of our shows live. We're going to go around the horn now, make our introductions. Back in studio, Kayer, Synergistic Funding. How you doing, sir?
You're doing well, Brandon. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. Yeah, what are we going to talk about today? A little teaser.
Well, I think, you know, with James being in there, kind of some of the frustrations we run into from, you know, kind of we work on the same team. So
Yep.
a lot of times when we see deals and we're trying to finance the transaction, we run into some obstacles where the seller is, you know, maybe stating one price point, but
Yep.
in reality, it justifies another.
Yep.
And we have to come up with creative solutions off many times to help facilitate that transaction. So that'll be I would imagine a big focus today.
Perfect. Yeah, small business loans, business funding, alternative types of money. You know, you can't walk into your bank and get a lot of these types of loan programs we're going to talk about today. So if any entrepreneurs, business owners out there, stay tuned. Do not touch that dial. Also, Nasim as well, VP of Sales, Synergistic Funding. Welcome in, sir.
Hey, thank you for having us, Brandon.
Kayer, what are you guys seeing out there?
So, I mean, I tell you, as far as the pipeline of deals we have right now in the books, a lot of, you know, we talk about alternative funding. We kind of talked about it in the previous shows. There's a lot of these companies popping up, but they're what we call one-trick ponies, where they're single. They have one singular product, and they're pumping a lot of marketing dollars to just shove money down these business owners' throats.
Right.
But the reality is that does more damage than it does good for them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these business owners jump on it. They'd love to have another $50,000 in their bank account,
Right.
but they're paying on these things daily.
Yep.
And if you're not using these proceeds for a month, 2 months, 3 months down the line, it doesn't make any sense. And so we're doing a lot of refis out of that.
Wow.
We're seeing a lot of business owners who, you know, have good businesses. Their cash flows are tight now because these daily debits are coming in, and we're trying to basically refi that out over a longer period so cash flows can breathe essentially.
Yeah, and I imagine, you know, with what I've seen, a strong mortgage history myself here, retail, wholesale side with Argent Mortgage, Equifirst, you know, different banks I've worked for many times. And what happens with those types of institutions is that they're going to have one loan program, either you fit or you don't, and they're going to sorry, I can't help you.
Yep.
You guys have multiple investors that you can go to.
Well, yeah, we have basically a smorgasbord, if you will, of products where it comes from our private investor bases as well as institutional funding as well. But it's really more designed around what's the right fit for that client. If you're trying, everyone wants to expand, but what are those expansion goals really entail? And if that doesn't require upfront money now, let's get you a line of credit to help facilitate that down the line. And it's really more of a customer focused type of a solution as opposed to, hey, this is what we have, take it.
And, sometimes I'm sure that happens as well. Naseem, you guys are working with people, and it may not be an initial deal right up front, but maybe it's 6 months down the line, maybe it's a year down the line.
You're absolutely right, and it's as if you were in my head, because that's what I was going to touch up on. Sometimes we have to hold their hands or coach them for the next 3 to 6 months and kind of just teach them how to keep their bank accounts in the positive and how to keep that cash flow going and not to allow themselves to get into a deficit, even if it's one day of the month.
Right.
That'll actually hurt you and hurt your chances in regards to getting a loan, because these lenders want to see that you know how to manage money.
Exactly.
And some people, they don't necessarily, when people come to us, they don't necessarily have financial issues, but they're looking to grow. So some of the guys out there who have businesses and they're net 30, net 40, they want to just advance those invoices and increase the the money coming in so that they could take on more and bigger jobs.
Right. It's all about cash flow. Keep that cash flowing. By the way, shout out to William Crowley, a.k.a. the Credit Magician. If you have any issues, maybe you're driving in your car, you're walking down the beach right now listening to the iHeartRadio app, you may have some credit issues, and we have William Crowley. He is the Credit Magician. He is the best when it comes to credit. You send a text or call as well for that. And, a lot of times it's a process that we're looking at when we're talking about, reorganizing some of your debt. We're talking about restructuring your business model. We're talking about improving your accounts receivables. There's so many ways that we can help you with the Real Estate Quarterback Show. We've got these experts here in studio, and they're going to have a free consultation. People walk in, they're going to be able to sit down with you. You'll probably meet them at their business as well.
Yep, we could do it either way. Many times, they're welcome to come set an appointment and come to our offices. We go to their office. A lot of times when they have a unique product in a production, so to speak, we like to go and tour their facility. Exactly. So we've done that, especially in the manufacturing space. But it works either way. We're open on whatever we need to do to help.
And I bet your investors like that too. You can say, hey, firsthand, I saw this facility. It's it's not one of these phantom type of deals.
Absolutely.
So that helps strengthen your relationship with your investors, and it's going to help also the consumer out there get a better offer, get a better rate
Absolutely.
on their offering. So hey, stay with us. We're going to talk about the Tampa Council to vote on $35.5 million contract for Riverfront Park, and more from our experts here in studio. We're talking with the fellas from Synergistic Funding, small business loans, small business funding, alternative types of loans for business owners out there, entrepreneurs, as well as James Lascano. He's a business broker and Transworld Business Advisors. He's a business advisor as well. So if you're a business owner out there, this show is developed for you. We put this one together. When I saw this one coming up, I said it's going to be a great show for our business owner friends out there. So stay with us. The best is yet to come. You're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, realestateradiotampa.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show. Business loans, business funding, business brokers. We're having a great conversation here, Intelligent Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. And this segment is brought to you by Greg over at Printing Solutions, Inc., digitalprintingsource.com. He does a great job on a lot of our flyers, postcards that we mail out for our real estate business. I'm the owner of Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. We got a beautiful property here in South Tampa that we're looking to sell. It's 414 South Royal Palm Way in Tampa. We just reduced this property down to $1.195 million. Beautiful beach park property, 33609, 4 bedrooms, 3 full bath, 2 half bath, over 4,800 square foot living, and it's a beautiful historic style home. You're not going to find another like this. It's historical property, beautiful large backyard, estate style pool, 414 South Royal Palm Way. Check it out. Also have a opportunity out in East County here. It's 8203 U.S. Highway 301 South in Riverview. This is a commercial opportunity. It's a restaurant operating. There's also a smaller computer repair store at 8203 U.S. Highway number 301 South. $650,000 with the great traffic flow coming by, thousands of cars going by daily at the Highway 301 South in Riverview. And I've got a listing in Lithia, 5722 Tanager Side Road in Lithia. We're doing an open house on Sunday at this property, Parkside Village, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath. And it's without the CDD or high HOA fees. The way that this property was built when it was developed, they are excluded from a lot of those higher HOA fees. 5722 Tanager Side Road, Lithia, 4 bedroom, 3 bath, Parkside Village, listed at $459,000. We just did a reduction on this one as well. So we're back here live from iHeartRadio, beautiful South Tampa, and one of the best places to live, work, and play.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
All right, first segment, we heard from the fellas over at Synergistic Funding, small business loans, business financing. Now we're going to shift gears. We're going to talk to James Lascano. He's a business broker here, Tampa Bay, and he's also with Trans World Business Advisors. Welcome back in, sir.
Thank you very much, Brandon. Always a pleasure to be here, and always a pleasure to go ahead and give any type of information that I can for our viewers.
That's right. So you just came off of a really cool trip over in Orlando, huh?
Yes, we had the IBBA National Conference, and it was a great learning experience. We got together with business brokers from around the U.S. and got to discuss a lot of things. I actually got to meet Gary Hoover from the Hoover website, which, is able to give all information in all companies. Like Dun & Bradstreet actually had recently acquired them. And it was really amazing to be able to talk to this gentleman and get so much incredible information from him. So it was
kind
wonderful.
of like the MLS of commercial businesses, somewhat, maybe the Zillow.
No. Hoover basically gives you inside information in the company, the leadership, salaries, things like that. Cool. So we use something like that when we talk about something like the MLS system is more like the Business Brokers of Florida is what we use here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
But it was really nice to be able to talk to him. This man has such a wealth of knowledge of everything, and he was able to talk to us about when Toys R Us was developing its model, and obviously a long time ago when he said, look, this was a great business idea, and I knew it was going to happen, and I saw other businesses after Toys R Us began to start modeling their businesses that way. So it was really a learning experience. I also wanted to actually, while I was here, I wanted to also mention a couple of businesses that I have for sale. One of them particularly is an asset sale that the lady just lowered the price. This lady started this wonderful business in Clearwater. It's a beautiful place. And, I mean, it's first class all the way. Unfortunately, her husband lost his job. And as you know, to start a business, it normally takes about 3 years when you start getting your return on investment. Well, they're only about the 10-month mark. So they came to me and they said, James, we really need help. We want to. Unfortunately, we need to walk away. And I told them, sadly, sometimes like this, these things do happen, but it's a benefit to the buyer. It's a beautiful place. It's already been established. They've won multiple awards, and they're selling it at asset value. Just lowered the price from $35,000 to $26,000. I am telling you, when you walk into this retail store of gifts, it's a retail store of gifts. You would just be amazed of how beautiful it is, and it's only for $26,000. I mean,
wow.
And right now, they're extremely motivated. I also have a beautiful Rodeo Drives type of business. This one's incredible. Again, you look at it and it is first class all the way. Also, I've been to Beverly Hills. I've actually had the pleasure to travel to California, and this place mimics that type of salon and spa.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and it's for sale for $160,000. I've always still selling that beautiful school that I have. Obviously, this is a more niche market for $1.8 million. As I mentioned in our last show, the revenue stream is 144. The return on investment is about 20% actually, which is a lower risk than most, because also you're buying property also, and you have a cap rate on that one. So it's a phenomenal deal for anybody who wants to get into a school business. It is not a franchise. I know people for schools, they hesitate on franchises, so they said no, this is not a franchise, but it looks like a franchise. So that's a good thing about it. And I have a beautiful restaurant right now for sale also that has over $270,000 worth of new equipment. The gentleman is a great person, but for health reasons, he's selling. He is older. He's close to retirement age, actually. And it nets about $70,000, and the gross is about $450,000. All new equipment. He's selling it right now. Lowered the price to $155 right now because he's very motivated. He says, James, I just need to move on. So that's basically an update right now of what's going on in the market for businesses. We have very motivated sellers. Some of them are getting ready to retire, and they're very excited to move on with their lives.
Yeah, it's interesting. Great listings there. And I imagine in your business, too, a lot of people try to do it like as a real estate agent. I'm a top listing agent here in the Bay Area, 35, 45 listings at any given time. And there's some buyers out there that want to drive around and they want to call on the sign. And they, those types of things, if you try to do it on your own, it's going to create a lot of stress. So we want you to avoid the stress. There's no need to try to do all this on your own. If you reach out to James, maybe talk about that, James. What's the process if somebody's interested in buying a business?
Correct. Well, they can contact us, or they can contact Transworld. Remember, Transworld is the second largest privately owned business brokerage firm in the United States. People, because there's so many few privately owned business brokerage firms, people sometimes get amazed at that we're here locally in Tampa and we have an office here. The other thing is that I do like to tell you that I recently, when I signed this salon and spa, when I met the seller, a lot of these things are very personal, and I got to approach her and I spoke to her, and these things sometimes when someone's selling a business, for hers are personal reasons. She loves her business, but they're personal reasons that she has to relocate actually, and she asked me, James, you're representing me, right? Because I have nobody else. And I told her with all due respect, I don't represent you. I'm a person that's a transaction broker. I stand in the middle. Right. So I make it aware that I don't let the scales tip. I basically just transfer information from one side to the other. However, I told her, I can't advise you because I'm not an attorney. I can just give you experiences that I've had, and I can tell you how things are being done in the market, but I will not let someone come in there and take advantage of you. My job is to make sure that it's fair, and that's one of the things I transferred to her. And that's all she wanted. She's like, I just want to make sure that I'm treated fairly. I'm like, then that's my job. I'm going to make sure that you are treated fairly and tell you how things are going in the market to make sure that you get the top dollar for your business, and that you're able to do the right deal. And that's somewhere we can talk to Synergistic Funding and tell them, look, what's the right deal out there for them,
Yeah, absolutely. Any points on that?
Yeah, I think it all comes to the proper planning, right? When we're talking about a seller and wanting to maximize that dollar for their hard-earned years of working in a business, it's all comes down to how did you manage those books?
Right.
Almost every time, 9 times out of 10, and it could be varies by industries, but we have a large focus on, or a lot of deal flow that comes from the convenience store, gas station industry.
Right.
And in that case, it's a cash type of business,
Yep.
and the owners want to take advantage of not having to show as much tax or pay much tax year to year. But when they go to sell, now their books are they're telling us, hey, I do X, but their tax returns justify another. And if you're going for conventional financing, it's not something that we're kind of providing day to day. Then when we turn around and take you to a bank, they're going to look at strictly what did you do on a gross sales, and things of that nature. And if those are less than what you really did, well, guess what? That's all we're able to get justify in terms of financing. So the sellers typically have to take a note, and a lot of times they want more up front, and that's where the negotiation tactics and things of those nature have to take place.
Before the break, we were talking about Tampa Council to vote on $35.5 million contract for Riverfront Park. Says Mayor Bob Buckhorn's proposed a $35.5 million makeover of Julian B. Lane Riverfront Park. It come up for vote, and it's the largest amount of money that's ever been invested in West Tampa. As far as he can tell, it's at 23 acres. Riverfront Park is about 4 times as big as Curtis Hickson Park, but Buckhorn said that the amount of general revenue is going to into the project comparable to what was spent 7 years ago to reconfigure Curtis Hickson. That's because the city plans to spend $15 million of the BP money it received after settling its lawsuit over lost tourism revenues after the Deepwater Horizon oil spill that we've all seen the impact of that, and hopefully we get that behind us. So interesting. I want to open that up to comment. A lot of great things happening downtown, and that Riverside area, Riverfront Park area, and you've got Vinnick down there with the wellness district that he's planning. A lot of cool things happening. Let's start right here with Kayer.
I think it's great. I mean, I think we've all seen. I've grown up in Tampa my entire life, so 33 years or so here in Tampa. And the amount of growth over the last, I'd say, decade has just been phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
And and as far as in the residential space, the listings you can't sell them faster. I mean, there's such a shortage right now with the influx of people that are continuously moving in.
That's right.
That we're almost running out of space internally, within the city limits or parameters to continue to build. So I think it's fantastic. We can debate about how much of that 15 million should technically go there and all that. And that's another scenario. But I think as far as what Buckhorn has done for the city thus far, it's been nothing less than spectacular.
Enter our lightning round. All right, top consumer tips, things to do, things to avoid. You're up first, Kayer.
I'd say if you're a small business owner looking to grow your business, as all business owners are, separate the personal expenses that you guys are using in your business. I can't tell you how many times we look at the cash flow of business and analyzing the bank statements, and we see miscellaneous things that could be moved into their personal accounts, and that affects our ability to provide funding, because that money's not there because you're spending it in places that you shouldn't be.
Great point, too, because what happens is, as well, if you get someone out there that is looking to pierce your corporate veil, all of a sudden now you think you have an LLC protecting you or Inc. You're incorporated, but a good attorney is going to say, well, it looks like you spent this money on your personal BMW. You had a vacation home on here. This is not a business. This is a personal spending account for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So another reason why to separate the business and the personal expenses. Nasim?
I think a good advice for our listeners and business owners or potential business owners is to do not just apply to any random loan or mailer that you get or certificate that says you have $100,000 waiting for you, because what happens is you get locked into these really extremely high interest rate loans,
right?
And then you contact us, and what we'll have to do is coach you for 6 months or tell you, as of right now, all your money is tied up to paying these loans. You can't afford another loan, or we try to refinance something for you. So just be careful. Don't go willy-nilly, signing documents.
Yeah.
And contact us first.
Do some research. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Contact our local partners here, Synergistic Funding.